Tonight, Alex Jones and the Austin bombings. Is there a connection? We take an in-depth look at the controversial frontman for InfoWars. Hi, I'm Craig, and welcome to Just Informed Talk. As I always do, I want to start by saying thank you to each and every one of my subscribers. Without you, this channel would not be possible, and I'm so glad to be able to share this information with you and have this great dialogue that you guys make down in the comments. If you haven't yet, come here to this landing page. There's a big red subscribe button. Go ahead and click that. Make sure you click the bell for notifications. That way, as soon as this information gets posted, you will be notified, because as soon as information is made available to me, I make it available to you. So, getting into what we were going to talk about tonight, but first, no new Q posts. We're pretty much where we were at as of last time with Q, but we'll take a quick second for those of you who are new to the channel or want to catch up. I'm going to scroll through these kind of slowly. You can pause the video, read them if you want, but where we kind of left off is with a lot of different speculation based off of these last few posts, and reasonably so, and a lot of it's going to be up for time to tell. But one thing I wanted to point out is that all these booms have been maybe pointed to what's happening in Austin right now. Now we have a fourth explosion. So if you look at it, he's saying there's going to be 3 new booms next week. And we're having these explosions in Austin. You guys have probably heard about it in the news. And this guy, whoever he is stepping up his tactic. He's certainly a bad actor who needs to be taken care of and dealt with immediately. But you can obviously see here that law enforcement and others seeking clues into the mind of what now appears to be a serial bomber. Say the latest explosive incident on Sunday night. The city's fourth over 17 days. Okay, so in the last 17 days, they've had 4 booms. Is Q telling us there's going to be more? I'm not sure. You guys let me know what you think in the comments. Obviously, if we're activating, in my opinion, the United States Marine Corps, the stuff has to be hitting the fan right now with a lot of different agencies. Whether this is the 3 branches being activated or the 3 houses of royal elites who own roughly $7 trillion worth of money, it all depends. It's all waiting to be determined. But you can see right here, what we're bringing you with this channel is breaking news when it comes to this. But tonight we're going to take a little different path, and I want to talk about something very closely. It's a man named Alex Jones, and who is Alex Jones? What is the phenomenon around him? I think it's fascinating to examine, and just here we have the investigation of the actual bombing itself. But the first thing we're going to do is we're going to take a listen to what Alex Jones has to say about his experience with this Austin bombing. But before that, we're going to talk about who is Alex Jones. Well, if you guys don't know, here's a hilarious description, in my opinion, of who Alex Jones is according to Wikipedia. Now, don't forget, YouTube wants to take Wikipedia and put it behind channels or inside their content to basically give people a source to verify information from a video based on their speculative thought. And I thought this was a great example to show you guys how this can go horribly wrong very quickly because of the defamation and the rampant abuse of Wikipedia by people who are so-called contributors. So first it says, very fairly, I think, it says Alexander Emmerich Jones is an American radio show host and conspiracy theorist, obviously, cited 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 5 times. He hosts the Alex Jones Show from Austin, Texas, which airs on the Genesis Communications Network. Well, that might be true. And shortwave radio station WWCR across the United States and online. His website's Infowars.com is a conspiracy theories and fake news website. So he's fake news and a conspiracy theorist. I'm pretty sure that just if you look at the reporting he's doing right now on the Austin bombing, it seems pretty fair and not fake news or conspiratorial. So if I watch Alex Jones in the future on YouTube, am I going to pull up from Wikipedia that he is a conspiracy theorist and fake news website? Is that what YouTube is getting at? Is that where they're drawing us? I mean, look, I'm a pretty even keel guy. You guys probably have picked that up from listening to me for so long, but when you think about these things and you actually cross-examine them, in the sense of, okay, well, hypothetically speaking, if I'm not a liberal and I might happen to be a conservative, I mean, when this and what if the shoe was on the other foot? That's the one thing I think liberals tend to just disband and just give up at the beginning of the conversation is they don't think of what happens when this happens to them. So anyway, moving forward, because this is too great, Jones has been the center of many controversies, including his promotion of Sandy Hook Elementary School shooting conspiracy theories, obviously promoting that, and his aggressive opposition to gun control in a debate with Piers Morgan, which is funny as heck. You guys can look it up. It's like a little meme. He says 1776 will commence if you take our guns, which I don't think that's funny. Not making a joke of it, because that's what would happen. He says he has accused the U.S. government of being involved in the Oklahoma City bombing, the September 11th attacks, and the filming of fake moon landings to hide NASA's secret technology. Okay, we're going to look at all these things. We're going to try to debunk what they said about primarily. I'm not going to try to debunk anything here because that's against YouTube's policy now. So let me make that very clear, even though I know they're probably going to demonetize this video almost immediately, and I hope I don't get in trouble for it. But speaking the truth is just speaking the truth. The one thing we're going to look at is what he says about September 11th. And I'm not going to say anything about the moon. I'm not going to say anything about Oklahoma City. I'm just going to talk about an event that happened in my lifetime that, not that I wasn't around for Oklahoma City, but I was not around for the moon landings. So it's hard for me to speak to that issue. I know that I have a lot of older, wiser, I should say, commenters and patrons and subscribers. So you guys might want to fill me in on what you think of the moon landing, because I'm not 100% on that. But I will tell you what I've heard from Alex Jones on 9/11, and I'm going to play you clips. I'm going to give you a lot of annotated clips here that are just going to lay out what his general idea about it is, and then you guys leave your comments. I'm not saying this is true or not. I'm just putting the information out there to counter the fact that he's being called basically a governmental conspiracy theorist. And it's not even a counter, really. It's just a framework to a deeper investigation of what he's doing. So, I mean, if you want to look at it that way, that's fair enough. We're not trying to make fake claims here or become some entity that just espouses whatever feeling it has. We look at the facts. We examine the facts. We take time. You go to any big research firm, think tanks, you go to all of them. They have these spitball rooms, right, where they sit down and they have conversations with one another and they figure out exactly what it might be, what the theory might be, what the idea could be, what the new movement is, whatever it is, right? And this is what they hate about YouTube, is that a person like me can get on here and start one of those by myself without having any, real motivation one way or the other. I'm not getting paid by anyone besides the viewers. So it's like I'm totally independent of them. And that's why they tend to hate what I'm doing here, because I embrace both sides. And I would like to hear what you think about him. And I want to make that very clear at the beginning of this episode, because Knowing the controversy of Alex Jones, I can only speculate that this video will be very controversially seen. Some people will hate it, some people will love it. Okay, that's fine. Just please know, I'm making this video as a statement about who Alex Jones is, in my opinion. It's not supposed to be your opinion. I'd like to hear your opinion in the comments. So, moving forward from that, we're going to talk about what he said on September 11th. But first, we're going to look at an article out of Rolling Stone. Now, Trump's Trump's tendencies to influence Alex Jones have been pointed out. Other things have been pointed out about Alex Jones. Trump did appear on the show, and that's why Alex Jones is relevant to the political commentary dialogue in general. And it's all referenced back to QAnon. When he makes a lot of these claims, you see people are associated with those claims and being targeted. I'm going to ask for help here because I don't have the information. It would take me a lot of time to pull up some of this stuff. And honestly, I'm very busy. I work very hard every day, and then I come and do this every night. I go 100 miles an hour trying to make sure that this works. So you guys got to understand that my heart is in it to win it. I'm here to share this information and make us successful, and I'm here to spread the word of the Lord far and wide, because that's the primary objective. So, but in reference to my theory on the booms in Austin, Texas, and what's going on with Alex Jones, there was an episode I saw prior to Sadiq Khan giving his, or it was either prior to or after his speech, where he referenced it was prior to him giving his thoughts at South by Southwest. And what it was referring to was Sadiq bragging that every major city experiences bouts of terrorism. So obviously that's a statement. I mean, he made it in that, I'm not quoting him exactly, but it was a statement in that realm. And you can actually see a parody made by Owen Schroyer on probably around March 7th to March 9th, while Alex Jones was on vacation, where he made the reference, there is no terrorism in Austin, Sadiq. Why are you espousing this rhetoric? Something to that effect. Shortly thereafter, we have this person. Now, what is this person doing? According to the reports, this person who is responsible for the bombings in Austin is taking packages, doing just multiple varieties of IEDs, which are improvised explosive devices. And they're setting them up on random strangers with seemingly no connection, reportedly. The FBI, the ATF have been working the scenes actively, but if there is more information, I will let you know as soon as I find it out. But right now, all they're saying is that there are different tactics, and everybody needs to be aware and to make their best effort to avoid it. And I think thoughts and prayers to each and every one of those who have lost family members or who have been affected by this horrible person, whoever, group, collective, whatever it is. Now, with that being said, we're talking about the fact that we have bombings in Austin, okay? And I saw this clip and it just referenced in short, and he kind of emphasized it, but having done the research I have, the globalists are not the ones who will back down. And if you hold on, I'll pull up something. So here's an article by Owen Schroyer on March 12th talking about the multiple explosions that have happened in Texas while Sadiq Khan is in town. And I'm sure this has occurred to Owen Schroyer himself. And it's really ultimately, there's two thoughts that go through my head. One is that the people who are in power are sending a message and or they're targeting. And that's just my thought. You guys let me know what you think in the comments. Now, going into the Rolling Stone article, it kind of just points out a lot of goofy things about Trump, or about, excuse me, Alex Jones, about Trump and his connection to Alex Jones. And then also, it points out some pretty funny instances where he is just going over theories and making comments and doing what he does, which is basically just riffing on the social commentary, the social dissent that he provides, the cultural dissent, dissenting opinion, I should say. So if you look at him in that context, you can understand that his role is actually quite important to an open and free democracy. Now, I'm not going to expose a bias one way or the other to say I like or dislike Alex Jones, other than to say that ultimately I like all reporters who are acting honestly in their own hearts, and they believe what they do is real, and they work hard, and they make an effort to do it. Those reporters and workers in the industry of the mainstream media who I dislike are those who read off a teleprompter, don't consider facts for themselves. I mean, there are some who read off a teleprompter but are informed, such as, a Hannity or a Carlson, but even they have their own histories, and as we all do. But this is a point I'd like to make about Mr. Jones, and that is that he has pretty much stood by this opinion when it was even unpopular for him and his standard base, as you would call it, to believe certain ideologies. And one thing we're going to look at today in the beginning, the first thing we're going to look at is Alex Jones just today, I think. And he says, I can't believe the bombings are happening so close to my house. So you guys hold on a second, we'll pull up that clip and you can watch it.
We really are approaching total information overload. Last night, at about 9:30, I was crawling into bed with my wife early. My children had gone to sleep. All four of them tucked into their beds. And I get an Amber Alert, but it's an awesome police department alert. Never gotten one of those. And it's stay indoors. Police personnel are in your area. Very dangerous situation. Stay indoors. So I go and I look out the front window. Streets are dark. Nothing's going on. No cars are going by. So I go to the computer, punch it up. 20 minutes ago, bomb explodes, or bombs, because they reported from two different streets, but it was one bomb. Now they're saying a tripwire. That's 4 bombs in the last 3 weeks. One by our warehouse, one pretty close where I live in Southwest Austin.
So there you go. I mean, as you can see there, obviously Jones is talking about the fact that he has experience for himself the threat of terrorism now directly. I mean, when it comes to your own city, that's kind of a direct message in my opinion. And he didn't expose anything purporting what I was even alleging, but I think the implication is there. It's there to be seen. You guys have to understand that there's so much more to what's going on than meets the eye, that we need to give everyone a fair shot to hear out what they have to say. Now, I want to tell you about Alex Jones and who he is and where he comes from. This is all fine and good. They kind of tear him apart there. But I think this is semi-accurate, his early life. He was born in 1974 in Dallas, Texas. He grew up in the Dallas suburb of Rockwall in the city of Austin, Texas. His father was a dentist, or is a dentist, and his mother a homemaker. In his video podcast, he reports of Irish, German, and they talk about his lineage, which doesn't really matter. He was a lineman on the high school football team. As a teenager, he read conservative journalist Gary Allen's None Dare Call It Conspiracy, which had a profound influence on him. And the easiest to read primer on the New World Order. After high school, Jones briefly attended community college but dropped out. And I think that's a fair description of what he did. He just is a proclaimed history buff. He reads a lot, according to what he says, and that's exactly what it is. Now you can go through read through his Wikipedia for yourself. A lot of it is, in my view, fake news, but hey, you guys are the judge ultimately for yourselves, so you'll go read that at your own leisure. But now we're going to get into the whole thing that made him famous, and it's the 9/11 conspiracy stuff. And here are some clips from Jones that we're going to examine in detail, and I think you're going to really figure out a lot just based on what you hear here.
Because believe me, this establishment could care less about you. The EPA found all the asbestos. The EPA, guys, said that there was asbestos and people were getting sick, and there was going to be $90 million for the police and firefighters for medical treatment. And Bush came in and had that blocked. Now, that's mainstream news. And now, of the 14 search and rescue dogs, 8 of them have died from cancer.
So there you go. I mean, that's him just laying truth bombs on police at a 9/11 rally in New York. And this is back 10 years ago, so around 2008. This was posted, this video. I think that's when this is referencing is from. But now, moving forward, here's just more fascinating thoughts here on what the number one thing is that they try to do. So, or tried to do or succeeded, however you want to look at 9/11. I'm not going to go there. I'm just going to give you guys some stuff and you guys can watch it for yourself. So watch this.
Number one, we know that the men who were on board the aircraft, who were supposedly the hijackers, had their houses, cars, credit cards paid for by the U.S. government.
So there's the number one point that he wants to make. Now he points out something interesting about the way that the flights were actually booked. We're going to watch that right here.
Computer malfunctions at American and United ensured that all 4 planes only had 20% occupancy on board, on a day when flights on the East Coast were an average of 80% full.
And now here we're going to look at what he talks about is the way that they basically inoculated passengers from that plane. We're going to hear it right here.
A gas was released, knocking out the occupants of the aircraft. Then a small criminal group in control of remote control systems, patented for over 20 years, took control of the aircraft and flew them into the World Trade Centers and Pentagon. The CIA-controlled drills that morning confused NORAD for over an hour until it was almost too late for them to shoot down the hijacked planes.
Yeah, so you heard it right there. Now we're going to talk about how he explains away what happened with the Pennsylvania crash, where the plane went down, what could have happened with that last plane. So you guys take a listen.
3 of the aircraft were able to hit their targets. The 4th wasn't able to because our sources in the Pentagon have told us generals didn't follow their orders and had Flight 93 shot down. If it would have hit its target, the Capitol, the government would have been completely decapitated and the president could have declared total martial law. By the grace of God, everything didn't go as planned. And so now the globalists have spent...
So there you have it. I mean, that's kind of the way he lays it out there. Now, here's one that kind of points to the fact that there was people involved on both sides, and we'll take a quick look at that.
Republicans are here and taking advantage of the 3,000 people that died right behind me for their own selfish politics, and it's very sad. I cried here for the first time today. I come here all the time. I've never cried here before. For some reason, I cried for the future because the way they're exploiting these dead people.
Because in your guts, you know that the criminals are returning to the scene of the crime to gloat and to use the bloody sacrifice they committed.
I couldn't have said it better myself.
So now...
Yeah, so the guy responds, I couldn't have said it better myself. Now we're going to look at three people who stand out to me, but the whole documentary here that was put out like 10 years ago, 11 years ago, was referring to basically these people who are in control. Obviously, Bush being one of them, but these are three that just stood out to me who we've seen a lot of lately. So I'm going to let you guys see them firsthand for yourself.
September 11, terrorism, global terrorism, the horror, terrorism, terrorists, the terrorism, September 11, global terrorism, terrorism, September 11th, world terrorism, terrorism, September 11th. Threat of global terrorism, global terrorism, September 11, 2001, global terrorism. Terrorists, global terrorism, September 11th, terror.
There you go, and we all know him as Mr. Rudolph Giuliani. Here's another one that you guys might recognize.
Terrorism, the attack on our homeland, back from the attack on our economy, and back from the attack on our way of life. Terrorists, hate. We must be fierce and relentless and terminate terrorism. Terrorists, you defeat them. It yearns to destroy not just the individual, but the entire international order. That's why.
Yeah, so obviously you guys know him as the Governator, aka Arnold Schwarzenegger. Here's another one.
Terrorism, September 11th. Terrorism, terrorists, September 11th.
Yeah, so there you go. I mean, those are three people that stood out to me in reference to what we're talking about here tonight. But you guys let me know what you think in the comments. Here's an interesting thing I want to look at. It's just talking about the fact that we have somebody working at InfoWars, Dr. Jerome Corsi, who is, in fact, the White House correspondent for InfoWars and the Washington correspondent. He's there monitoring the situation on the East Coast for InfoWars. And fascinating to think that somebody like that is happening to cover the QAnon conspiracy. Yeah, I'm going to let you guys go ahead and hear what Dr. Jerome Corsi describes as QAnon in his words.
I want this to be an update. This is Saturday, from Saturday the 27th, yesterday, and Sunday today. We have not had any QAnon posts today, but I want to introduce it by saying, first of all, that in my intelligence background, I think that the QAnon phenomenon is real. I judge that QAnon is really a military intelligence source that is very close to the president. I'm finding that because the posts tend to merit consideration. They prove out things that QAnon says are going to happen. Connections that QAnon says are going to be obvious once you examine them. When you do the research, those connections are there. And just to start, QAnon stands for Q Anonymous, and Q is probably the highest level of intelligence clearance, security clearance that you can get in the U.S. government. So a QAnon is someone who is operating pretty much as an intelligence source, but operating anonymously. That's where we get QAnon.
Yeah, so you heard it right there from Dr. Corsi. Obviously, there's more to this than meets the eye. And I'm just going to leave that for you guys to kick around in the comments. I can't wait to hear what you have to say about it. Here's something I thought was very interesting. Just kind of giving you an idea of Alex Jones's character as I see it. Obviously, this is going to be controversial, and I can't wait to read the comments from the plethora of people who will have to contribute to this topic. But this is an Alex Jones prayer about praying for the president. Now, I've seen several clips where they cut it up and they make it into some funny meme, and they just take it out of context or whatever. And that to me is really sad, because I believe in my heart that he is a man of God and that he works to forward God's plan in the best way he knows how, which we all are doing together. And we're all trying to draw together a community to make the truth be known and just leave it out there and then let it work as it may. So I'm going to show you guys this clip. Go ahead and hang on one second. Let me pull it up.
Focus on the fact. If you're a Christian, pray with me that a hedge of protection be put up around Donald J. Trump and all of us that are fighting for truth and justice, and that all of the enemy's plans be turned against him, and that we be given discernment and providence to overcome the enemy. But in the end, whatever God's will is, that is justice. And that we know in God's plan, this will all turn out to be for a very, very good reason. And just pray to God that we understand how incredible this period of history is right now. And that we thank God for Donald Trump, because Donald Trump is putting himself under the full media and psychic and cultural attack of the enemy. And it's real. It's not a put on. This is 100% real. The energy level is just rising to an absolute cacophony.
We do pray for President Trump, and I think I echo the sentiments laid out there. I don't think there's anything controversial wrong with that at all. I think that it's perfectly fine to discuss these kind of things. So you guys let me know what you think in the comments. And oh yeah, you guys thought you were going to get out of here without going into what Jones thinks about frogs. Well, you may have been close, but you're not that close. So let's go ahead and watch.
I don't like them putting chemicals in the water that turn the friggin' frogs gay. Do you understand that? Turn the friggin' frogs gay. Serious crap.
Yeah, so obviously there's a whole report here you can read for yourself. It's a Mother Jones article talking about astrazine, if it will load. Obviously, we're going to have a little lag there. Talking about how astrazine actually is a chemical that's found in herbicide that's really mass produced and spread, that ends up getting into the water stream and then changing the behavioral patterns of the frogs. Now, maybe it is definitely a categorical exaggeration to say that frogs are being turned gay, but I think it's a fair argument to say that frogs are being being changed by the chemicals, and what they're doing is making them asexual and possibly even homosexual, which is obviously a not what nature intended. So we'll leave it there. I'm not going to get too controversial in this video talking about certain things. Suffice to say that obviously the intent of God, one would think, is for frogs to procreate and then make more frogs. But I could be totally wrong on that. You guys will have to let me know in the comments. So I just want to say thank you so much for you guys coming to the channel. Remember, without the subscribers, this channel is not possible. And thank you to each and every one of you who have subscribed. If you're looking for a way to contribute, the easiest way to contribute to this channel, and it's like throwing me a buck, and I really appreciate it, is just coming here to the landing page and clicking the big red subscribe button. It really makes a difference to me, and it's what keeps this channel going. Make sure you hit the bell for notifications. That way you get notified as soon as these videos get posted. And that's the only way we defeat the censorship and the algorithms, is by just being popular and people liking and wanting to watch it. Honestly, I'm so thankful for each and every single one of you, and I pray for each and every one of you all the time. So take that and pray for me, and let's share it together. Let's share in the Lord's grace here. But that's awesome. If you want to find another way to contribute, one of the other best ways is to go down to the bottom of this video and tell me what you thought about Alex Jones. Tell me what you think about the what's happening in Austin. Tell me what you think about anything you want. I'll go through and read all of them, and we'll definitely look at those, and maybe we'll make a video and you'll be featured. You never know. So contribute your thoughts and comments down below. That's definitely another way you can help out the channel big time. But if you're looking for another way to contribute, why don't you come over here and check out my Twitter page. Kind of fledgling, not many followers, but the good thing about my Twitter page is that my videos get automatically posted there, so it'll automatically notify you if you're having trouble with YouTube. Every time I upload a video, it automatically notifies my followers, so you guys can come here and follow me at Justin_formed, or you can search me as Justin Formed Talk. So that's certainly another way you can help out. And if you're looking for another way, I mean, if you're just the most generous person in the world and you're looking for each and every way you can help out here, as my computer lags, you can come here. We're so close to my goal. Come to patreon.com/JustinFormedTalk, or you can come to patreon.com and search JustinFormedTalk. And what you can do here is you can become a patron. You come to this landing page, you click the big red button, become a patron, and contribute to this process because I need all the help I can get, guys. I really appreciate it. Every cent helps, and you guys are the best. All 92 who have contributed so far, and everyone who, I want to thank you in advance for coming here and checking out this page. But you can check out my goals and my rewards, or my goal and my rewards. The cool thing about my goal is we're almost there, so I'm going to have to start making another goal, and I'm going to have to think about something cool. So maybe you guys have suggestions for what my next goal should be. But my first goal was when I got to 100 patrons, I was going to make a video where I mention each of the first 100 patrons by name and thank you all individually. If you happen to be one of those patrons and you don't want to be featured, please direct message me on Patreon and tell me you don't want me to feature your name. But otherwise, you will be featured. FYI, so the next 8 spaces are basically getting you this $25 spot, which is the featured Patreon patron spot. So you can ask me anything again for $10, and you can email me, and I will give you one correspondence back. So there's a lot of cool stuff here on the Patreon page that you can get involved with, so I encourage you all to come check it out, and I thank you in advance for coming and looking at it here. Now, finally, the most important part of the whole episode, the Lord and how He relates to all of this. I have been so blessed. At times, life is not easy. At times, life is the easiest thing in the world, seemingly. But going through those trials and tribulations and triumphs, you realize that there's only one factor that keeps it all together, and that's God. So you can go through a low and you can go through a high, but if there is no moderating force, if there is no power that's set beneath that, then it's all chance and it's all random. And a lot of people want to believe that. Well, I can tell you right now that it's not just random and it's not chance. It is God's will. It is God's blessing. It is God's ability to transform your life, to give you the confidence, to make you the light that will shine to others. And they will see you and they will pick up on that and they will want to follow you and be around you. And it's just contagious in the most positive sense you could ever imagine that word being uttered. So do this for me. Before you go and make any disparaging comments or anything about that in the comments, just take a moment and think to yourself, why are we not affording each individual the chance that God has given us all, this chance at life? A chance for somebody to be heard is different than exposing that they're right. And God wouldn't want us to be the judge. That is for Him only. Jesus died on the cross for our sins so that we can live eternally with God, and He's the ultimate judge of who we are and how we are. So understand that prayer is the most important thing. Pray to the Lord. Pray that He comes into your heart and opens your heart and gives you a light to shine to the world. Pray that He gives you the guidance and courage and wisdom to be the people that you are meant to be for Him. I mean, pray for everything and anything, and God will listen. And whether you get it or not is a part of God's plan. So it is perfect by definition. So that's where I'm going to leave it. I want to say thank you so much for watching. If you enjoy these videos, make sure you come here and click the big red subscribe button. Click the bell for notifications. That way, as soon as these videos get posted, you'll be notified. Once again, thank you so much for watching. You guys are really the best in the world. I can't wait till the next video. I really want to hear what you have to say about this, so make sure you leave comments. But once again, I'm Craig. This is Just Informed Talk. Godspeed and God bless, Patriots.